Hey guys, this is Fate from Diablo3StrategyGuide.com, bringing another Inferno level video to you guys today. And today we're going to be going over the Butcher run. And this is probably the most popular Act 1 Inferno run for a good reason. And I'm going to quickly right now go over some of the strengths. Well, it has easy mobs. It's got a very predictable boss, and I won't lie, I've died a couple times to the Butcher, but once you kind of get into the right rhythm and understand his attacks, he's very straightforward. You have 2 elites on the way, which pretty much makes it the best loot in Act 1, and it's relatively short. So if you can successfully execute a Butcher run without losing your 5 stacks along the way, or having trouble killing the Butcher, then you should definitely do this run. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go into your quest manager, you're going to want to select the Imprisoned Angel quest and the Cursed Hold portion of that. And that's what we're doing right here. And I'm just going to also very quickly go over some of the dungeon levels that you'll be fighting in. And you're going to be first fighting in the Halls of Agony level 2. And then you're going to go outdoors into the Highlands Passage, the Cursed Hold, where you'll free the prisoners and fight the Butcher. Then back into the Halls of Agony, level 3, and occasionally what you're going to have to do in order to get your 5 stacks, and this will definitely occur before you face the Warden in the Cursed Hold, is you're going to have to go town portal back home and find some additional elite mobs outside of this quest. Now this I've found is fairly rare in the Butcher runs, but it does happen, and you are going to want to get those 5 stacks before you kill the Warden as well as the Butcher. Alright, so jumping into some gameplay. First I go to the Halls of Agony level 2, like I've talked about. And you can see that these monsters, while they're a little bit faster than kind of the Skeleton Kings that you would do, the skeletons that you would fight in a Skeleton King run, they're nothing too bad and they're very easily kitable. Occasionally you'll run into kind of some tough elite packs, invulnerable minions, that sort of thing. Feel free to skip those, but you should be able to kill everything here relatively comfortably. And if you can't, consider going to do some Skeleton King runs. I just did a video about that, so please check that out on our channel, D3 Strategy Guide. And there's also a great blog post that we wrote up last week that kind of goes over the most popular Act 1 Inferno runs, goes over some of the strengths and weaknesses, when you should be doing them, when you should kind of be scaling backwards, when you should be kind of progressing forwards, and that sort of thing. And to kind of go over the brief goals of these runs, when you do a run, the goal is not to progress within the game. The goal is to basically to get the sickest loot. And usually what you'll end up doing with this loot is, well, you'll occasionally use it if it's better than the items you're using, but normally what you're going to do is you're going to be having to identify the best loot that you get and put that loot onto the auction house, which in turn will allow you to spend that money on better loot. And that's kind of how the game is structured right now, whether you like it or not. And so quickly I'm freeing the prisoners. So now it's important to note that you can free all 6 prisoners without getting your 5 stacks, but you're definitely going to want to get those 5 stacks before you go to kind of the center area to kill the Warden. Now for me this is clearly not the case, as I already have my 5 stacks right now. But this does happen. I'd say maybe 15 to 20% of the time you're going to have to town portal back home in order to get additional stacks. And so I'm freeing some more prisoners, and now it's time to fight the Warden. He's he's probably one of the easiest set bosses in the game, perhaps even easier than the Skeleton King. And so I just got so much loot right there that I had to head back home. And so alright, here I am, and I go back down. And so now after you kill the Warden, you go kind of find the Halls of Agony level 3. Alright, so now I'm going to progress kind of down into the Halls of Agony level 3, where I will fight some additional elites and fight the Butcher. And so why is this run so popular, you might ask? Well, it's simple. Act 2 is very hard. It's much more difficult than Act 1. Not only are the monsters item level 6, not only are they in level 62 as opposed to 61, which is a major progression considering that you are stuck at level 60 because you're max level, but they are also much more difficult mobs in general. They tend to be quicker and just very, very lethal. Soul Rippers are some of the most feared mobs in the game, and you will run into those all the time in Act 2. Alright, so now I'm facing the Butcher. I'm a little bit over geared at this point, so he's a relatively easy kill for me. And the trick for these bosses is you can definitely kill them under geared a lot of the time, and it's just a matter of being able to learn and predict the movements for a boss like the Butcher, the Warden, the Skeleton King, and to a much more difficult extent, a boss like Belial. And so these bosses tend to have very slow but very powerful attacks, and once you kind of learn their patterns, they become a lot easier. For me, the Butcher was kind of a tricky one to start out with, but I quickly got in tune with kind of his attack patterns and that sort of thing, and he became a much easier boss. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so feel free to check out our YouTube channel at D3 Strategy Guide, and please check out our website www.diablo3strategyguide.com, where we're bringing you both free and premium content covering kind of the lower level aspects of the game, as well as the higher Inferno Act 3, Act 4 kind of tier of play. So I hope you guys enjoyed it again, and check us out.